Hello students, welcome back to our YouTube channel Pratik Singh Classes. I hope all of you are doing very well. So all the festival season has finished and today we are going to restart all the things which we have left earlier. Okay, this is the fourth video for standard 10th science chapter 6, okay, and 28th in the row. Okay, the earlier videos I have made, okay, count 27. Okay, so this is for chapter 6 and that is for life processes. All right, so in our today's video we will start from respiration. Okay, we will start from activity, then we will try to understand what is the real meaning of respiration, and a lot of fun we will learn today, we will study today. So let us begin. Okay, so in previous class we have done up to dental caries. Okay, now we will start from section 6.3, that is respiration. Okay, you know very well that we breathe in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide, but when the oxygen goes inside our body and before carbon dioxide comes out of our body, what are the things happen? Okay, then why we need only oxygen, not any other gas for respiration? Okay, and then how does energy is born or brought up by this respiration? You will see all these things starting from activity 6.4. okay, let us first see figure 6.7. what are the things given there? Air being passed out into lime water with a pitchkari. Okay, pitchkari, you know very well that we play with this during Holi in North India. Okay, and you can see a rubber tube is there and lime water is put there. Okay, and it with the help of pitchkari, air bubbles are being sent inward. Okay, and then air being exhaled into lime water, as you can see in figure B. Fine, let us go to activity 6.4. Take some freshly prepared lime water in a test tube. Blow air through this lime water. Okay, when we blow means when air comes out of our body, it is only carbon dioxide. Okay, note how long it takes for the lime water to turn milky. Okay, it is a carbon test, carbon dioxide test. Okay, in precise that whenever carbon dioxide gas passes through lime water, the color turns to milky. Okay, use a syringe or pitchkari to pass air through the same fresh lime water taken in another test tube. Okay, instead of blowing air from our mouth, okay, in second test tube we blow the air with the help of syringe or pitchkari. Note down how long it takes for this lime water to turn milky, and what does this tell us about the amount of carbon dioxide in the air that we breathe out. Okay, what really happens here is when we breathe out air, very high amount of carbon dioxide will be there. Okay, and because of that, lime water will convert into milky in very less time. Okay, or sometimes instantly. Okay, but with the help of syringe or pitchkari, when we blow air in this lime water, okay, the air contains carbon dioxide in very less amount, that is 0.03 to 0.04 percentage, and because of that the lime water will convert into milky color in a long time. Okay, so it shows that the amount of carbon dioxide which we breathe out is very high. Coming to activity 6.5, take some fruit juice or sugar solution and add some yeast to this. Oh wow, okay, this is the process of making wine or alcohol after fermentation. Take this mixture in a test tube fitted with a 1-hole cork. Fit the cork with bent glass tube. Dip the free end of the glass tube into a test tube containing freshly prepared lime water. What change is observed in the lime water and how long does it take for the change to occur? Okay, whenever yeast is mixed to the sugar syrup, sugar solution or fruit juice, it starts fermenting. Okay, and because of that carbon dioxide gas evolves. Okay, but this takes a lot of time. Okay, so here the lime water will turn to milky, but it will take some long duration. Okay, so what does it tell us about the product of fermentation? So in fermentation we get carbon dioxide, but it takes long time. We have discussed nutrition in organism in last section. Okay, we have seen there heterotrophic, autotrophic. Okay, autotrophic are those type of nutrition in which the organisms make their own food, like green plants and trees, and heterotrophic are the nutritional type in which the organism get their nutrition from autotrophs, or they cannot make their food by their own. The food material taken in during the process of nutrition is used in cells to provide energy for various life processes. And for your mark, okay, just note it down that mitochondria is called as the powerhouse of the cell where energy is being released. Okay, when you will go in standard 11th and 12th and you will take biology, there you will study a lot about how mitochondria function and how energy is released in the body. Sorry. Diverse organisms do this in different ways. Some use oxygen to break down glucose completely into carbon dioxide and water. Some use other pathways that do not involve oxygen. Okay, that means sometimes there are some organisms like us which use oxygen to break down of the complex compound present in the food into similar compounds. Okay, and carbon dioxide gas comes out of that. We get energy from that. And there are also some other organisms which converts complex molecules of the food into simpler compounds. Okay, but they don't need oxygen like us for release of energy. In all cases, the first step is the breakdown of glucose, that is C6H12O6, a 6 carbon molecule, into a 3 carbon molecule called pyruvate. Okay, this process takes place in cytoplasm. Okay, that is inside the cell. Okay, this is the organelle. Further, the pyruvate may be converted into ethanol and carbon dioxide. Okay, the carbon dioxide comes out and the ethanol after oxidation gives us energy. This process takes place in yeast during fermentation. Okay, during fermentation they don't need oxygen. Okay, fermentation can also happen when the thing is kept in a closed container. Since this process takes place in the absence of air or oxygen, it is called anaerobic respiration. Okay, means respiration where oxygen is not required or oxygen is not necessary is called as anaerobic respiration. Or you can also say that when energy is released in the body without presence of oxygen is called as anaerobic respiration. Breakdown of pyruvate using oxygen take place in the mitochondria. This process breaks up the 3 carbon pyruvate molecule to give 3 molecules of carbon dioxide. The other product is water. Since this process takes place in the presence of air or oxygen, it is called aerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration. Okay. In our body, mostly aerobic respiration happens, but sometimes in the when less amount of oxygen is available around us, or when we work very hard, like running for a long time, okay, the supply of oxygen in our body is not equal to the demand of the oxygen, and in that situation our body also do anaerobic respiration, but that happens for a very small time gap. Okay, the release of energy in this aerobic process is a lot greater than the anaerobic process. Okay, sometimes when there is a lack of oxygen in our muscle cells, another pathway for the breakdown of pyruvate is taken. Okay, in absence or if suppose the availability of oxygen is less, okay, pyruvate breakdown happens in some another way. Okay, where they don't break directly into carbon dioxide and water. Here pyruvate is converted into lactic acid, which is also a 3 carbon molecule. This buildup of lactic acid in our muscle during sudden activity causes cramps. Okay, sometimes when you do exercise for a long time or sudden exercise or sudden running, okay, the amount of oxygen demanded by our body is lesser than the supply, and then we get cramps in our muscles. Okay, you might have heard or seen this word cramp in live cricket match, that the player has got cramps, and so some special type of medicine or a spray has been given to that part. Okay, so here you can see glucose, a 6 carbon molecule, that is C6H12O6. When it goes in cytoplasm, cytoplasm converts it into pyruvate, that is a 3 carbon molecule, and energy is being released. Okay, now what happens here is pyruvate is converted into different components plus energy in 3 different ways. If suppose in absence of oxygen, okay, in case of yeast, when they do fermentation, pyruvate will be converted into ethanol, carbon dioxide and energy will come out. That means it is an exothermal reaction. Okay, here ethanol is a 2 carbon molecule, or you can say it is C2H5OH. Okay, in case when pyruvate is being converted or is in lack of oxygen or in our muscle, okay, that means in less, if less amount of oxygen is available or the amount of oxygen is not equal to the demand, in that situation it will be converted into lactic acid and energy. Okay, again lactic acid is a 3 carbon molecule, and here the energy released will be lesser than that when it will happen in presence of oxygen or full presence of oxygen. Okay, when pyruvate is oxidized in full presence of oxygen, okay, that is in mitochondria, okay, it is converted into carbon dioxide, that is one carbon molecule, okay, plus water plus energy, and energy released in this type of oxidation is higher than that of lack of oxygen or absence of oxygen. Okay, so by this way glucose is converted into carbon dioxide, energy and other substances. The energy released during cellular respiration is immediately used to synthesize a molecule called ATP. Okay, always remember that. Once again, the energy released during a cellular respiration, okay, means in mitochondria, it is immediately used to synthesize a molecule called ATP. Means the energy is used to make ATP, which is used to fuel all other activities in the cell and so in our body. In these processes, ATP is broken down, giving rise to a fixed amount of energy which can drive the endothermic reactions taking place in the cell. Okay, so here more about ATP is given. ATP is the energy currency for most cellular processes. The energy released during the process of respiration is used to make an ATP molecule from ADP and inorganic phosphate. Okay, so here you can see ADP plus P, that is phosphate. Okay, in presence of energy it converts into ADP of phosphate, that is equal to ATP. Okay, endothermic processes in the cell then use this ATP to drive the reactions. When the terminal phosphate linkage in ATP is broken using water, the energy equivalent to 30.5 kilojoule per mole is released. Okay, think of how a battery can provide energy for many different kinds of uses. It can be used to obtain mechanical energy, light energy, electrical energy and so on. Similarly, ATP can be used in the cells for the contraction of muscles, protein synthesis, conduction of nervous impulses and many other activities which happens in our body. Okay, since the aerobic respiration pathway depends on oxygen, aerobic organisms need to ensure that there is sufficient intake of oxygen. Means the amount of oxygen available, okay, must be very high, very good for our respiration. Okay, for high amount of energy release. If suppose the energy intake in our body is lesser, okay, if the amount of oxygen goes below 98, people start feeling suffocation, and in that situation the energy released is very less, and also the ATP will not deliver energy to do many types of functions. Okay, in that situation the person becomes semi-paralyzed. We have seen that plants exchange gases through stomata, and large intercellular space ensure that all cells are in contact with air. Carbon dioxide and oxygen are exchanged by diffusion here. Okay, they can go into cells or away from them and out in the air. Okay, so these things happens at all the time. The direction of diffusion, means in which way which gas will flow, depends upon the environmental conditions and requirements of the plant. Okay, you know very well that green plants and trees, they can make their food only in the presence of sunlight. Okay, when I say green plants and trees, you can imagine that chlorophyll is available there. Okay, so in absence of sunlight, photosynthesis doesn't happen. Okay, in that situation the intake air in plants are oxygen and outtake is carbon dioxide. At night, when there is no photosynthesis occurring, carbon dioxide elimination is more major exchange activity going on. During the day, carbon dioxide generated during respiration is used up for photosynthesis. Hence, there is no carbon dioxide release. Instead, oxygen release is the major event at this time. Means at daytime, okay, oxygen is exchanged or oxygen release is in high amount, okay, but at night time carbon dioxide release is at higher amount, okay, with respect to each other. Animals have evolved different organs for uptake of oxygen from the environment and for getting rid of carbon dioxide produced. Okay, terrestrial animals can breathe the oxygen in the atmosphere, but animals that live in water need to use the oxygen dissolved in water, and for that they have a special organ that is called as gills. All right. You might have seen aquariums at your homes or in public places. Okay, observe fish in an aquarium. They open and close their mouths, and the gills slits. Okay, or the operculum, which covers the gill slits behind their eyes, also open and close. Are the timings of the opening and closing of the mouth and gill slit coordinated in some manner? Okay, count the number of times the fish opens and closes its mouth in a minute. Compare this to number of times you breathe in and out in a minute. Okay, you will see that the number of opening and closing of the gills in fishes are more than that of us, because we just directly get air, oxygen from the air, and the fishes, they have to extract oxygen dissolved in water. Since the amount of oxygen dissolved in water is fairly low compared to the amount of oxygen in the air, the rate of breathing in aquatic organisms is much faster than that seen in terrestrial organisms. Means like us, fishes take in water through their mouths and force it past the gills, where the dissolved oxygen is taken up by the blood. Okay, terrestrial organisms use the oxygen in the atmosphere for respiration. Okay, means we directly get oxygen from the air, but in case of aquatic or marine animals, they have to filter oxygen dissolved in the water. So the rate of breathing in the marine animals or aquatic animals are more than that of us. The oxygen is absorbed by different organs in different animals. Okay, all these organs have a structure that increases the surface area which is in contact with oxygen rich atmosphere. Okay, since the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide has to take place across this surface, this surface is very fine and delicate. Okay, in our case it is the lungs. In order to protect this surface, it is usually placed within the body. So there have to be passages that will take air to this area. Okay, means as you can see in our body, the lungs, okay, how it is being saved or kept in safeguard by our body. Okay, in addition, there is a mechanism for moving the air in and out of this area where the oxygen is absorbed. Okay, in human beings, air is taken into body through the nostrils. Okay, the air passing through the nostrils is filtered by fine hairs that line the passage. Means inside the nostrils there are very fine hairs, okay, which filters the dust mites, okay, or any other type of organisms, okay, which is not visible by our eyes, okay, and then releases the clean air to our lungs. The passage is also lined with mucus, which helps in this process, okay, that the dirt particle stick to it and then it comes out. From here, the air passes through the throat and into the lungs. Sorry. Rings of cartilage are present in the throat. These ensure that the air passage does not collapse. Okay, so as you can see how the air passes from nose to the lungs. Okay, first it passes to the nasal passage. Okay, there we have very fine hair. Okay, which separates the dust mites. Okay, or any kind of other pollen grains or unwanted material from the air. Then it further passes. Okay, there we have a lot of mucus which further separates the very fine dust particles. Okay, the dust particle sticks to that, and then further when it dries, it comes out. Okay, then it goes to you can see pharynx, then larynx, trachea, okay, and then rings of cartilage, okay, and then two lungs. In the lungs we have alveoli, which absorbs oxygen, and also it releases carbon dioxide which comes out. Okay, so you can see here how the alveoli looks like. Okay, this is the respiratory bronchioles. Okay, so this is a complete figure of human respiratory system, and once the oxygen is being absorbed by these alveoli, okay, it is mixed into the blood and reaches to the each and every cell of our body. Within the lungs, the passage divides into smaller and smaller tubes, which finally terminate in balloon-like structures, which are called alveoli, which we have seen earlier. The alveoli provide a surface where the exchange of gases can take place. The walls of the alveoli contain an extensive network of blood vessels, as we have seen in earlier years. When we breathe in, we lift our ribs and flatten our diaphragm, and the chest cavity becomes larger as a result. Okay, because of this, air is sucked into the lungs and fills the expanded alveoli. The blood brings carbon dioxide from the rest of the body for release into the alveoli, and the oxygen in the alveolar air is taken up by the blood in the alveolar blood vessel to be transported to all the cells in our body. And one more thing to be remembered is that whatever amount of air we take in, not all the oxygen present in the air is absorbed by the alveoli. Okay, and also whatever oxygen our blood takes in from the alveoli, not every molecule of oxygen is being used up. Okay, some of them returns back. During the breathing cycle, when air is taken in and out, the lungs always contain a residual volume of air, so that there is sufficient time for oxygen to be absorbed and for the carbon dioxide to be released. Okay, and when the body size of animals is large, the diffusion process alone cannot take care of oxygen delivery to all parts of the body. Instead, respiratory pigment take up oxygen from the air in the lungs and carry it to tissues which are deficient in oxygen before releasing it. In human beings, the respiratory pigment is hemoglobin, okay, which is why the color of blood is red. Okay, hemo means iron, which has a very high affinity for oxygen. This pigment is present in the blood corpuscles. Carbon dioxide is more soluble in water than oxygen is, and hence is mostly transported in the dissolved form in our body. Okay, so here is something more about our respiratory system. If the alveolar surface were spread out, it would cover about 80 meters square. That much big all the alveoli are in our lungs. How much do you think the surface area of your body is? Consider how efficient exchange of gases becomes because of the large surface available for the exchange to take place. If diffusion were to move oxygen in our body, it is estimated that it would take 3 years for a molecule of oxygen to get out of our toes from our lungs. Means one molecule which has gone to your toes, when okay, it will take 3 years to come out from the lungs. Aren't you glad that we have hemoglobin? Okay, fine. So that is all about respiration, which you have to learn in class 10th. I hope you have enjoyed our today's class. Okay, I request you all once again that if you are new to the channel, please subscribe it, hit like, hit the bell icon for all, and like and share it among your friends. Okay, if you have any suggestion, you can type it in the comment section of this video. And also if you have any question to ask, any query, okay, about any thing which we have seen today or from the previous videos, you can type in the comment section of this video. Okay, till the next video, take care of yourself. Bye bye.